Yo, my dudes, gotta come in here and make this video. Okay, so I made my rut tester video for Supercross 2, the official video game, and I think that particular track was a absolutely horrible example of what the terrain deformation can actually be in this game, depending on which track you're on. So, had to come in here to make this. So, I'm on the Minneapolis track here, and I noticed this couple days ago when I was riding on it. I was like, wow, this actually does have more of a terrain deformation feeling. But for whatever reason, that particular track I was on whenever I made my first rut tester video, that track just didn't really rut up at all, which is totally different than the way that some of the other tracks are in the game. So it's very, very like track dependent, like on how it's actually going to rut up. So let me actually restart this. I want to try to get in the front pretty quickly so you can see what the track looks like with absolutely zero terrain deformation on it. When you got this gate out here in Texas, you got to be a little crafty with your how you're going to start. The easiest way to do it when you're all the way out here usually is just kind of do this number right here, right? Ah, damn. Oh, yeah. We got it. Okay, boys. We're good. So I want you to pay attention to the actual, damn, Mooscan, pay attention to the actual lips of the jumps, right? The jump faces, look at how smooth they are. Look at how just standardly the track is, and you'll see how much of a difference it can make once I get here on lap 2. Come on, Mooscan, get off my ass, boy. Trying to make a video here. Shit. Oh, you just gotta love it. When you got somebody right there like that. Now I can't go up the inside. See, he's going to do that. Just pay attention to the lips, and you'll see, and just kind of how the whoops are. I know that's another place that it really seems to change quite a bit. Fuck out of here, Mooscan. Damn. Shit. I'm trying to make a freaking video, dude. Get out the way. Oh. Mooscan. Oh, now we got this going on. Great. Wonderful. Great. Love it. Shit, boys. Don't you know I'm trying to make a video? Okay, now look at how the jump face has changed a little bit, right? It's kind of hard to see with the freaking riders in front of me like this. And then I jump this corner too far every time. Can't get up the inside there. Okay, this is a little bit ridiculous trying to show this like this, but either way, here we go. So you guys saw how smooth everything was on that first lap, and you can already see the difference happening here. I don't know what it was, but that one track that I was on that first, terrain deformation rut tester video, that track just didn't change hardly at all. So I think there's just certain tracks in the game that have more of a softer dirt, more almost like a sandy compound to it, where it really will, deform, whereas some of the other tracks just don't really deform that much. So sorry, I apologize for that. I didn't really realize that in the game at the time. I think it's just like there's a handful of tracks that'll really rut up and got that terrain deformation, then the other ones just don't really rut up that much. So, it's just kind of all dependent on that. But you can already see the difference. Like, it's pretty much already quite the different track than it was a while ago. The biggest place I really notice it is on your jump lips. It's really going to change like that. And obviously the sand sections, it'll rut up. Don't really matter what track you're on. It's going to rut up the sand sections, like especially in Daytona and stuff like that. You'll really notice it doing it on the sand sections and stuff. So, all right, let's see. God damn it, Mooscan. Jeez. Oh, it's like, get off of me, bro. Okay. So triple into this corner, and then you got to rail this around to triple out of here. Now I can actually kind of show you what the hell is going on. So you can see the change of the jump faces here, kind of how that's doing and how ruddy this is getting on the faces. But like, what the fuck are you doing, Mooscan? What? I can't do this shit. This is pissing me off. I can't even show what the hell it's doing. Oh, God. I'll be right back, boys. I swear to God, the AI in this game can just absolutely drive you nuts sometimes. And trust me, I like a competitive AI, but it's just hard to explain it. But the way it is in this game specifically, like the way they can just instantly pop you off your bike for no real apparent reason, it just makes it more annoying than fun a lot of times with the AI, I feel like, in this game. But either way, so here's the track, you know, not rode on at all. Super smooth jump faces. Very, very smooth corners. So maybe it's on just the more standard smooth tracks. That's where you notice it more potentially. Jack that up a little bit. My bad. I haven't rode on this track just a whole lot. So then you got this triple into the corner here. But you can see just standardly how smooth it is. So I'm going to run a 10 lapper or 10 minute plus lap on this. See how smooth that sand whoop section is and how smooth this main triple is. I'm going to run just like I did on my last rut tester video, and we'll see, you know, what she is by the end of it here. So, okay. So I lowered the AI difficulty just for the sake of, like, trying to show you the track here. Muscan was giving me hell, so. But already you can see into that first corner how different that is. That's what you notice the most is just how much the rhythm section right there jump faces. I don't know if certain how they change. I don't know if certain tracks have, like I said, more of that sandy kind of loam compound to it, and that's what causes that more, I think I can jump all the way up over if I hit that right. I don't know if that's what really causes more of the terrain deformation, because I'm telling you, on that other track I was on for that other rut tester video, it was literally doing nothing on the track. Rode 10 minutes plus lap on it. I couldn't even tell a difference at all. In this track, it's like you can tell a difference on lap 2. You know, it looks like a totally different track. So it is just all super dependent on what track you're on. So you can see how much it's chewed the whoops out. Now, obviously, like I said, with this track having more of that loamy, sandy type feel, it's still not making hard ruts. You know, it's still not making hardcore ruts, really changing it in that sense. So it's not like a revolution, like, oh my gosh, this track is rutting up so much more in an actual gameplay sense. Obviously, it is a very visual sense. So I'm going to try to get in here and see how much it really affects how good I can ride on the track with, you know, running 10 minutes plus a lap on it. I don't think it's really going to affect it all that much. The biggest place I think it's going to do it, like I said before, is just simply lowering some of the jump faces just a little bit in some areas on the lip. But other than that, it's not really going to make kickers. You know, it's not going to make hardcore ruts in the corners. So, like I'm saying, it still is more that visual than actually physically changing the track. You know, it's not like a revolution here, but I just wanted to come in here and explain that, yes, certain tracks can actually terrain deform more than other ones. And I guess that first rut tester video I made on it kind of was putting off the vibe that there just was basically no terrain deformation system in this game, but there is. It's just I was on a track that basically didn't have any of it, and I didn't realize it at the time, so my bad on that one, boys. I apologize. That was my fault there. I didn't just happen to be on one of those tracks that was more hard packy, I guess, and wasn't one of those terrain deformation tracks. So, but I wanted to get on here and kind of clear that up and just let you know that, yes, there is some tracks that will rut up more. Obviously, that sand getting gnarly as hell. Oh, man, I overjumped that triple. Ugh. Every lap, bro. Every lap. You can see rutting up that corner and obviously chewing out the whoops. It looks really cool, like what it's doing on the track. It looks really, actually pretty realistic on how it's, you know, cupping out those whoops and stuff. But is it really making the whoops harder? Not really. Is it really making these corners harder? Not really. You know, is it really changing these corners? Like, not really, bro. So, at least to this point, right, which I'm on lap, what the hell am I on? Let's see. Damn, that was just my bad. I didn't get the freaking speed up to the jump face. What lap are we on here? Like 4, 3, 4, something like that. Catching the lappers now. So I just want to see how much it's really affecting it here. So let's try to avoid this guy. Up to the face of that. Okay. So there's still a sand section on this track, which is going to make it feel a little bit different. Obviously, you can feel the ruts, like when you're riding on them, you can feel them, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is about overshot that. I guess what I'm trying to get at is it's not really changing, like how hard the track is, or really, like you can feel it, sure enough, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is just not changing it really. But I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping once I get through the laps here a little deeper, it will. I think you can jump that all the way. Pretty sure. Don't really know how much that's going to help you, though, because then you got to single out of that bitch. So I don't know. But either way, you can see the difference of the way this track looks versus basically lap 1, right? Lap 1 is like perfectly smooth. So, yes, there is a terrain deformation system in Monster Energy Supercross 2. Still more of a visual changing thing than a physically changing thing, but, really ride on all the tracks before you kind of give a full opinion on it, I guess is the best way to say it. I apologize for not doing that. I'm not scared to come on here and admit that. Like, I just assumed, I guess, the terrain deformation would be a little bit more, consistent on all the tracks like it always has been. It'd be a little bit more like the same on all the tracks. It wouldn't be where just one track doesn't deform at all and another one deforms like crazy. I just wasn't expecting that, I guess. And so it wasn't until after that I realized, oh shit, like, yeah, there's certain tracks that will show it. Oh my God. There's one of those occasions that just the absolutely retarded where you'll land on somebody and they will push you into something in the air, or they'll push you over a jump face where you'll case something and pop off, and you couldn't do anything. You're already in the damn air. Come on now, Milestone. Let's fix that. Okay? So, yeah, obviously that sand section getting chewed up as shit, which is as expected, but I'm trying to see if some of these other sections get a little worse, feeling actually harder to ride on. Obviously, the whoops super cupped out, but the whoops aren't hard to begin with in this game, so it's not really making those that much more difficult. Now, I'm noticing it on that jump. Look at that right there. That's another occasion of what I'm talking about. That's the exact example of, like I was saying in my update video, they need to fix that where people can push you in the air like way far. They can totally change your velocity in the air on where you're at. And that's what that happened. Right, I was jumping that just enough to double that section and popped right off the top of the head of Monceu or whoever the hell that was, and it literally jump boosted me to actually triple that in the air when I only had enough speed to double it before I came off the jump face. That is so unrealistic. Like, that is not good in a motocross game at all, I promise you. Oh yeah, so that's chewed up. I'm just like waiting on one of these corners to cause me to crash from all the ruts or something, but it's not happening. Like, I'm waiting on it to really feel different, I guess, you know? I mean, it is different, but they're soft. They're just so soft, sandy style, blow them out type ruts that it just doesn't really make that much of a difference at the end of the day. Yeah, the jump faces might make you, when it's wore down a little bit more, might make it just, you got to be like 2% or 5% less on the throttle than you normally would be to jump that same distance because how much shorter it is. You get what I'm saying? So you're not getting quite the air time that you normally would. But other than that, I mean, it's just barely changing the jump faces. That's really the only place I'm like super noticing it changing something as far as actual gameplay, right? Like that corner's totally rutted, but yet it doesn't really feel like that. So I need to get a thumbnail up in here. Let's see if I can do that. Oh. Okay, ruts out the ass in that corner. Wow, got that bike totally turned down. Okay, let me try to get to a better corner. Oh, damn. I'm going to mess that up. But yeah, it did make this jumping into this double right here a little bit more difficult if you hit it in that one area where it was already, I think it was already pre-made, kind of wore down in that spot, but it just made it feel a little more like that now that it's been rutted a bit. But obviously super visually changing the track, right? But I guess when you talk about how physically, how much harder it makes it, it's not really that big of a thing. Promise you, man, it's not. Like, it's not really making it where you can't hit this or can't hit that or get a kicker over that or whatever. It is just not like that. So, still yet, on a track that's got crazy amounts of terrain deformation and ruts and whatever, it still just really isn't doing a whole lot. Actually, like, raising difficulty or changing the feeling of the track or, that kind of thing. Let's see if we can get a in the sand little thumbnail here. Damn, I may have to get that on the next lap, but yeah, I mean, as you can see, there is certainly some sand ruts in this next corner up here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Getting a thumbnail can be difficult at times. It can be a trick and a half, for sure. But you would think those ruts like that would be a little more solid, a little more sturdy. Just what you would think, but they're really not. But I guess it's probably doing a little bit more than it did in the first game, maybe something like that. You know, the whoops look super cuffed out, but they're really not all that much more difficult. To be completely honest with you, like, they're just not that much more difficult. I don't know any other way to say it. Let's get up here. Okay, either way, boys, here we are on the last, about last lap or two. So, yeah, I thought it was only fair to come in here and, you know, kind of remake my rut tester video on this game just to show it, right? I would assume there's probably like 3 different types of actual track compounds in the game. This is just what I would assume at this point. Is basically there's one like this that's super, almost like sandy, loamy, damn near like a Seattle or something. And then you probably got like a super hard packy type fill, and then you got somewhere like a clay intermediate middle ground something. That's just what I would expect at this point, how it would be. Damn, I thought I was going to get a really good thumbnail off of that. If I would have caught it a little sooner, might would have, but okay. It's all about them thumbnail, baby. That can change so much about what your video can look like. But okay, let's see. Come around this corner, blow those tough blocks out of the country. 2 to go. So yeah, even if you run like a full-blown main event, 20-minute plus one, not really all that big of a difference. It'd be interesting going on a track like this in the rain mode, because then you'd really see like the terrain deformation combined with the rain mode and how that affects it. So may go in there and do that here in the future just to see, you know, what actually goes on with that. But you can see the difference of the jump face there, how it's kind of lowered in some areas that it wasn't towards the beginning. But I guess it looks like it would be making more of a difference than it actually is, filling on the bike. You know what I mean? I think it'd be cool if they raise like the hardness of the terrain deformed ruts by about 10 to 20%. You know, actually raise the sturdiness of them to about 10 to 20 more percent than they are currently. They're just a little too soft filling for it to really make any sort of difference or any sort of new filling or whatever. So let me cut this video off before I sneeze. Appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.